Hello, my reading friends. I thought today I would take a second and share with you five books that I found on my shelf that have the word book in the title. I am always excited to go through my shelf, and I sometimes forget what I have on there. And I'll look through and see how many amazing books I have been blessed to find at used book sales, library sales, been gifted by other people, and there's so many that I want to read, but obviously there's only a certain amount of time in order to do it. So I try to be really choosy with the books that I'm reading, but sometimes there's ones that just speak to me in the moment. So these are five books that I thought I will put on my pile to read possibly for the cooler months. They just spoke to me when I was looking through them, and I thought I would share them with you to see if they also speak to you. So the first book that I have in the stack here is The Woman of Troublesome Creek. And this one is interesting. I think it is very similar to Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. That was a book club read that we did back at, I believe, the beginning of this year. And I just find that time period really fascinating with the Pack Horse Library project that was going on and bringing books to people that didn't have access to them. Obviously, that's something that we're still passionate about here at the Jane Austen Literacy Foundation, and it is very near and dear to my heart. And it's really exciting to read about the same thing going on in different time periods. So this one is also about a woman, I believe in the story, who her skin is a shade of blue. There's a genetic disposition to the skin color. And it is in the heart of Kentucky and just sounds like a really fascinating book to read. So this is definitely going to be on my books that I tried to get to within the next few months. The next book that I have is The Librarian of Burned Books. This one I found at a library sale not that long ago, and I was quite excited to see it because I remember seeing the ARC copies of this book going out. I don't typically read World War II historical fiction, but this one just spoke to me, and so I picked it up and thought that I might get to it at another time. It is set in three different time periods. So we have Berlin 1933, Paris 1936, and New York 1944. So I believe we're following three different women, if I understand it correctly. And the final story just really spoke to me about a woman whose husband has passed away during the war, and she is part of a project of books that are being sent to soldiers overseas. There's a senator who is trying to, in some form, censor the books that are going out, and she is on a mission to make sure that there's no censoring going on with those books that the soldiers are receiving. This seems like a fascinating take, and I am really excited to get to it. The next book is in a similar vein. I just said I don't typically read World War II historical fiction, but The Keeper of Hidden Books just sounded also fascinating. It says a heartwarming story about the power of books to bring us together. That speaks to me, and this one is, I believe, books that are being damaged during the bombing and a woman's mission to kind of save these books and bring them together. It looks like it is set in Nazi-occupied Warsaw. So this should be a fascinating read. The next book is very quirky, and when I saw it and I read the description, I was at a library book sale, I think, and I thought, I think I need to just grab this one and have it on my shelf. Oh, the sun is so bright. It is too beautiful a cover for you to miss. The Little Paris Bookshop. And I believe this is an older read, but it just sounded fascinating. We have a literary apothecary. I mean, medicine for the soul is books, right? And he has a floating bookstore, and he prescribes novels for different hardships in life. If you have a book that you would recommend to someone to cheer them up, to bring some joy to their soul, I would love it if you left it in the description below. It would be really fun to see what books people would recommend. But the Little Paris Bookshop speaks to me, and it is a little bit of cheating, but it still has book in the title, so we're going to count this one with the rest. And the final book is The Book of Speculation. This is another gorgeous covers. These all have such very pretty covers. But this one spoke to me because it starts with a letter, and anything epistolary is immediately going to speak to me. It says, "Dear Mr. Watson, I came across this book at auction as part of a larger lot I purchased on speculation. The damage renders it useless to me, but a name inside it led me to believe it might be of interest to you or your family." And we know that Simon Watson is a young librarian. I believe something happens on a certain day to the women in his family. And he is on a mission to stop this from happening, I believe, to his sister and to see why it is happening in general. So the Book of Speculation is definitely making it on my list. I feel like it's a pretty doable list to get to all 5 of these at some point, hopefully by the end of the year at least. And I look forward to sharing my thoughts with you as I read them. If you have any books that you love with the word book in the title, I would love it if you share that as well down in the comments. Thank you so much for taking a short little moment to hang out with me. If you haven't yet subscribed or clicked the like button, I would appreciate so much if you did that. It really helps get the word out of the Jane Austen Literacy Foundation and spread the message of what we are trying to do. If you have not yet checked out our community space and you would like to do so, I have all that information down in the description box below, as well as the title of all these books if you would like to check them out for yourself. Happy reading. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.